Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. Today, Arden and I are going to talk about inner monologue and some other thinking-related stuff. I don't want to get too technical. Please don't forget that nothing you hear on the Juicebox Podcast should be considered advice, medical or otherwise. Always consult a physician before making any changes to your healthcare plan or becoming bold with insulin. Are you an adult living with type 1 or the caregiver of someone who is and a U.S. resident? If you are, I'd love it if you would go to t1dexchange.org/juicebox and take the survey. When you complete that survey, your answers are used to move type 1 diabetes research of all kinds. So if you'd like to help with type 1 research, but don't have time to go to a doctor or an investigation, and you want to do something right there from your sofa, this is the way. t1dexchange.org/juicebox. It should not take you more than about 10 minutes. Don't forget to save 40% off of your entire order at CozyEarth.com. All you have to do is use the offer code JUICEBOX at checkout. That's JUICEBOX at checkout to save 40% at CozyEarth.com. This show is sponsored today by the glucagon that my daughter carries, Gvoke HypoPen. Find out more at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. This episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by AG1. Drink AG1.com/juicebox. When you use my link and place your first order, you're going to get a welcome kit, a year's supply of vitamin D, and 5 free travel packs. Today's episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Omnipod and the Omnipod 5. Learn more and get started today at omnipod.com/juicebox. Hey, Arden, what's up? Are you having fun making the podcast with me?
I like how you started that like we haven't been talking to each other for the last 10 minutes.
People need to know where the conversation begins. We can't just be in the middle of a conversation when we start recording. We went over a lot of important things before we started.
Yeah, we did.
How's school going? Let's talk about it for a second. How long have you been there now?
What, like 4 weeks, I think?
Did it feel...
Isn't that kind of weird?
Yeah.
You know what? I was talking to Mom, and I learned that I'll be home every month except for February.
Really?
So I was home in September, right?
Mm-hmm.
October's my fall break. November's Thanksgiving. December's Christmas. January's New Year's. I'll be here February. March is spring break. And April, I'm done.
And that's really odd because at your last institution of higher learning,
I wouldn't see you for like 6 months straight.
yeah, you'd be gone for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, you know what we're going to talk about today?
No.
Today, we're going to talk about internal monologues.
Oh, actually, I was talking about that in my psych class today.
Where are you?
Yep. We were learning about consciousness, and we just started learning about sleep.
Okay. Well, what did you learn about consciousness and sleep today?
Well, we were talking about consciousness last class, too, so it's like we learned a bunch of shit. But basically, I don't know, we were just kind of learning, like, you would like this, like, dogs technically aren't conscious.
I mean, I could tell that from Basil.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, you're always saying, like, he has no idea what's going on. Like, I get you're kind of right.
I'm right,
but,
right?
Yeah, but there's, like, a couple like, some mammals that do know they're conscious. So it's, like, humans, when they're, like, 18 months old, know they're conscious. Chimpanzees know they're conscious. Elephants know they're conscious. And dolphins know, because we all have, like a higher advanced, like, frontal lobe or something like that. Something like that.
What does that mean? How does that, like, what's the definition of, I understand?
Conscious.
Yeah.
So basically there's something called the mirror test, and you place someone in front of a mirror, and if they either react like something else is in front of them, or that they understand that they're in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
So basically they put like the chimpanzees to sleep, gave them some drugs, and then placed like a red dot on their forehead. And then when they woke up, there was like a mirror, and they have no idea this thing's on their head. there's a mirror, and they walked up to the mirror, and instead of like going to touch the mirror because there's another chimp in front of them, they touch their own heads and were trying to wipe off the dot.
Okay. But most animals.
Yeah, most animals probably wouldn't do that.
Gotcha. Dolphins, yes.
Dolphins know that they're
Interesting.
conscious. Yeah. Dolphins also, their brains are bigger than ours, and they like the part of the brain where it's like the emotional response is actually a lot more complex than ours is.
They're more advanced emotionally than we are?
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. That has nothing to do with our topic, but I love it.
Yeah, that's what I was learning about all that stuff today. I have a exam next week, so gotta lock in.
How you been doing so far on the testing that you've encountered?
I've only taken quizzes, but I've gotten 100 on all of them.
There you go. Nice. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Are you enjoying this more classic type of college?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it better than the more hands-on thing at Scott?
I think so, personally.
Okay.
I would say, yeah.
Okay, good. What do you like about it that's different?
Easier schedule. I feel like I'm using my brain. I like to just sit down and take notes. I realize I don't really like creating stuff is more like something I would do when I don't have, I don't want creating things to be a task.
So when you're being creative, you like it to be for fun or recreation?
Yeah. Okay. Definitely learned that. But yeah. I don't know. I just want to come home, put on my pajamas, crack open a Mountain Dew, put on Bob's Burgers, and take some notes. And that is what I do.
That's your afternoon?
Oh my God. Guess what episode came on today of Bob's Burgers?
Which episode?
The one where they're teaching Tina how to drive in the parking lot. Oh,
the thing you sent me the clip of.
Oh my God. It's so funny. I've seen it 4 times, and every time I'm like, oh, this is so funny.
Is it the setup? Or you like the way the actor spoke one of the lines, right?
Yeah, it's like they walk out of the store or something, and he's like, oh, the parking lot's very empty, Tina. And she's so dumb. And she's like, all right. And he's like, you know what that means? And she's like, no. And he's like, you get the keys. And she's like, why would what do I do with the keys? And he's like, drive the car. And then they get in the car, and it's the only car in the parking lot. Oh my God. It's fantastic.
I've never seen the Bob's Burgers. Are you telling me I have to listen or watch?
Some episodes are a miss. Some are a hit.
Okay.
Really depends. But every once in a while, I
really
chuckle.
Like it. Very nice. Okay. Good background for sure.
Yeah, good background. Okay, anyways.
So how did this come up in our house? We were talking about it one day, and you were surprised to know that...
I think I had asked if your inner monologue was your voice or someone else's voice.
And I said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right. So try to explain to me. I don't understand what you're experiencing. So why don't you first explain to me when are you most aware of it? Is it constant? If you take insulin or sulfonylureas, you are at risk for your blood sugar going too low. You need a safety net when it matters most. Be ready with Gvoke HypoPen. My daughter carries Gvoke HypoPen everywhere she goes because it's a ready-to-use rescue pen for treating very low blood sugar in people with diabetes ages 2 and above that I trust. Low blood sugar emergencies can happen unexpectedly, and they demand quick action. Luckily, Gvoke HypoPen can be administered in 2 simple steps, even by yourself in certain situations. Show those around you where you store Gvoke HypoPen and how to use it. They need to know how to use Gvoke HypoPen before an emergency situation happens. Learn more about why Gvoke HypoPen is in Arden's Diabetes Toolkit at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. Gvoke shouldn't be used if you have a tumor in the gland on the top of your kidneys called a pheochromocytoma, or if you have a tumor in your pancreas called an insulinoma. Visit gvokeglucagon.com/risk for safety information. Today's episode of the Juicebox Podcast is sponsored by Omnipod. And before I tell you about Omnipod, the device, I'd like to tell you about Omnipod, the company. I approached Omnipod in 2015 and asked them to buy an ad on a podcast that I hadn't even begun to make yet. Because the podcast didn't have any listeners, all I could promise them was that I was going to try to help people living with type 1 diabetes. And that was enough for Omnipod. They bought their first ad, and I used that money to support myself while I was growing the Juicebox podcast. You might even say that Omnipod is the firm foundation of the Juicebox podcast. And it's actually the firm foundation of how my daughter manages her type 1 diabetes every day. Omnipod.com/juicebox. Whether you want the Omnipod 5 or the Omnipod DASH, using my link lets Omnipod know what a good decision they made in 2015 and continue to make to this day. Omnipod is easy to use, easy to fill, easy to wear. And I know that because my daughter has been wearing one every day since she was 4 years old, and she will be 20 this year. There is not enough time in an ad for me to tell you everything that I know about Omnipod, but please take a look. Omnipod.com/juicebox. I think Omnipod could be a good friend to you, just like it has been to my daughter and my family.
Yes, but like when you read a book, for example, this part I can't wrap my head around, that you don't have an inner monologue, because when I read a book, there's a voice in my head that is saying those words out loud so that I can take them in and understand them.
And you hear the voice.
I can hear the voice, yeah.
Not literally, but see, I'm already lost. I don't know what you're saying. I mean, my internal monologue, if I have one, is that when I'm thinking about something, I feel like I can hear my thoughts, but not audibly.
I don't know what that, like, you were trying to explain it as like you feel your thoughts instead of hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's what Liv had said to me.
That's how Liv put it to you?
Yeah, that's how she explained it. And she was like, sometimes I feel things as like colors or moods. And I was like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't just like think? And she was like, no. Or like when we were asked both to think of an apple, like I close my eyes and I think of a real apple. And she said that she thinks of like a drawing of an apple.
And if you ask me to do it, I can't do that.
I don't understand how that's possible.
I can't see an apple at all. Like, I don't see it. You know what I see when I close my eyes?
Darkness?
Yes, and I don't even know if that's what blind people see or not. So I'm still kind of lost, but I just see black. I can't picture anything. Like, hold on. Let's pick something really simple. Like just
an apple. I said an apple.
All right, hold on. Okay. No, black. I just see black.
About the moon. The moon.
Okay.
Can you see the moon?
Nope, same black. It looked like the apple. Do you see a moon when you close your eyes?
Yeah, I imagine the moon.
Really? But I can't. Hold on. Let me imagine the moon.
What the hell is what?
I don't know. I'm trying to. I don't know. I try to imagine. I don't see anything. I don't see nothing. Nothing. I see black.
It's not like the moon appears. It's like, yeah, like you close your eyes and see black, but then your brain like makes the image of the moon kind of sitting in the center.
Nope. Nothing. Isn't Liv the one who told you that she actually sees red when she's angry?
Yes, she does see red. The whole joke now.
Do you even understand that?
Like, I understand it. I don't see red when I'm angry, but I understand what she's saying.
Is she saying that like her vision looks tinted?
I think that she literally sees the color red.
But like as an overlay or solid?
No, I think a solid.
When people become angry, their body undergoes physiological changes, heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, adrenaline is released. These changes can cause flushing in the neck and the face, making your skin appear red. Visual changes while people don't actually see the color red when they're angry, extreme emotions like anger can cause changes in perception. Adrenaline, for example, and stress can narrow a field of vision, give you tunnel vision, or even cause visual distortions, which can feel like seeing red metaphorically. Wow. I don't have that either. I've been pretty mad in my life.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
You kind of go insane when you're mad. I don't have that either.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I guess so. I'm better as I'm older. I guess
so.
I mean, I'm trying to think that I get better as I get older.
Do you, or do I have to hold you back in certain scenarios?
I have not had like a feeling like that in a while, actually, since you and I were pulling out of the Walgreens parking lot that one time.
Yeah, and then before, or was it before or after that when someone ran a red light
Oh, and would have like that was
just T-boned us.
Yeah.
And you stopped, and I had to hold your arm so you didn't like run after them and kill them.
I'm sure I just would have spoken to them strongly about their not paying attention.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. All right. So you close your eyes and anything you think of, you see.
Yes.
And I don't have that at all. Okay. So why can someone see an object in their mind's eye, which I think that's what that's called, and some can't?
So does this make me more intelligent?
What if I find out it makes you mentally unstable? Hold on a second. Why don't you wait till we see?
I don't think that's true.
The ability to see an object in a mind's eye or create a visual imagery is in one's imagination, varies from person to person. Some people have a vivid mental imagery where they can clearly visualize objects, people, or scenes in their minds as if they were actually seeing them. Others may have little to no capacity for it. It's a phenomenon known as aphantasia. How about that? Aphantasia is good.
I have realized though. Sorry, I'm adjusting. I have a heating pad on under my butt, and it's like really hot. Hold on. I think I turned it all the way up by accident.
You always sit on a heating pad?
Yeah, it feels so nice. It like makes my tummy feel good.
Okay, nice. So some people may be naturally a more visual thinker, while others think more in words. So this is interesting. I think in words for sure. Do you think in pictures?
No, I think in words.
Want to hear something crazy?
Wait, I don't understand. If you can think in words, how can't you hear the words?
I just know they're there, but I don't hear them. Also, while I'm a word thinker, I speak in pictures. Have you ever noticed that? Like I use a lot of imagery when I'm speaking. It's what people hate about me and my family and love about me on the internet.
Oh, all right. Wait, I had something I was going to say.
Go ahead. Mom describes my writing as flowery.
What does that mean?
She thinks it's too...
Oh, writing like the words you type?
When I write
I thought
things.
You meant like your like actual like signature.
No, not my hand. My handwriting is horrible.
I was like, that is not flowery at all. Maybe like if it was wilting.
I have terrible penmanship. Like if I ever like go crazy and, do something insane, they'll point to my handwriting and they'll say, we should have known this was coming. But what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I like had something I was going to say and then the heat hit my butt and I couldn't remember.
Close your eyes and see if you can picture it.
Oh, yeah, that was it. So I do find that so if you told me to close my eyes and imagine something, I can imagine absolutely anything. I have a hard time remembering the exact features of people. So I can picture a person, but then I'll think about it really deeply. And I'm like, you know what? Like now that I'm thinking about it, like I'm not sure if I have this portion of their face correct. And I think I kind of like mess up their face in my brain a little bit.
Mm.
I don't know why. Like even like people I've known my whole life, like even you, like I can picture you. And then at some point, like I'd be thinking about it so hard. I can see such a clear photo. I'm kind of like 3D, like going around your head. And I'm like, wait, that's not right. Like something's off.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't picture people in my mind at all.
I can like rotate around a photo. Like it can like spin in front of me so I can see the front and back of everything.
So this is going to sound crazy, but like I'm using Cole as an example because he's downstairs and I saw him 20 minutes ago. With my eyes open, this is going to sound stupid to you because either we're describing something differently or we're having two completely different experiences, but I know what Cole looks like.
Yeah, I know what Cole looks like too.
I can't picture him, but I'm aware that I'm thinking about him and I can describe him to you right now, but I'm not seeing him.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah. I had a dream the other night about Mom and it was like a beat for beat lunch that we had together when she was like 20 and she was in college. Like I could picture the restaurant we were in and like her sitting across from me and like this whole thing.
I had a dream last night that I had a professor. Just a random person I made up in my head. And they were like a killer and they like kidnapped my class.
Wait, a random pretend professor kidnapped your class?
Yeah.
Where'd he take you?
Like a house, like some sort of house, like cabiny house. I don't know. I don't have all the details. I remember waking up and then thinking, am I going to go to psychology? Or not psychology, philosophy.
Is that the text you sent me this morning? A lot of you might get your energy in the morning from coffee or soda, but I love drinking AG1 first thing in the morning because it gives me an energy boost without that caffeine crash. And I also know that my body is getting the nutritional support that it needs to power itself throughout the day. AG1 contains pre- and probiotics and gut support ingredients to support your digestion, reduce bloating, and to help keep you regular. All of AG1's ingredients are non-GMO, and it contains no added sugar. It just helps to fill my nutrient gaps and support my gut health all day long. So start with AG1 and notice the difference for yourself. It's a great first step to investing in your health, and that's why they've been a proud partner of mine for so long. Try AG1 and get a free bottle of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/juicebox. That's a $48 value for free if you go to my link, drinkag1.com/juicebox. Check it out.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me just say, I think I made a great decision because yesterday in my recitation, I got a gold star because I was doing so well. And next class, I have this class again on Thursday. He literally spends the first 20 minutes recapping the class before and then goes into what we're learning that day. So I was like, and he puts the notes online right after class. So I was like, what am I missing here? Nothing. I'm missing 50 extra minutes of sleep.
I'm feeling good about paying for that class too.
No, I go to the recitation. That is the second time I've skipped that class, and it was the same day each time, and I've been fine.
Okay, hold on a second. I want to look this. I've been looking at this word more, but I don't want to keep saying it incorrectly. So hold on 1 second.
What?
Hold on. There's a word that begins with A that means that you don't have a mind's eye. How do you pronounce it?
The word you're thinking of is aphantasia. It's pronounced aphantasia. It refers to the inability to visualize images in one's mind.
Who is talking to you?
That's ChatGPT.
What?
4.0. That's my ChatGPT app.
That's a woman.
Yeah, I gave her a woman's voice.
Why'd you do that?
I find it.
Are you having marriage troubles?
With aphantasia? Aphantasia sounds like a girl I met at a strip club.
Speaking of A things, I was today in the episode of Bob's Burgers. They're talking about, what is it called? The green liquor absinthe.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like looking into it. Oh my God. Did you know it's illegal?
It can make you blind, right?
You can like hallucinate. People have like murdered people on it.
Yeah.
My God, that's crazy. Remember in New Girl when they drink it?
Is it green?
Yeah, and and what's her name? John Mulaney's wife?
John Mulaney's married to that girl that got famous on The Daily Show.
I don't know why I thought her name was Minka Kelly, and it's not. Oh, it's Olivia Munn.
Olivia Munn, yes.
And yeah, and she's like dating Nick, and then they like shoot a gun or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
Anyways.
All right. I don't know how that happened, but
sorry, I'm getting off track.
Don't forget. Listen to this. Aphantasia is believed to be rare, affecting an estimated 1 to 4% of the population. These individuals have no mind's eye, or their imagination is essentially blind. The ability to visualize events and images often plays an important part in people's lives. What am I missing?
So, are you like missing part of your brain? What's going on?
Is aphantasia a type of autism? The internet's ridiculous. Hold on. Oh, yes. Aphantasia and autism linked by impaired imagination and social skills.
Wait, and you have aphantasia?
I mean, I can't see the apple. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, folks.
Well, folks, what is...
I guess are you on the spectrum, Dad?
I don't think so.
It's broad.
I don't believe so.
I remember one time I was watching Big Brother with Sanj and Mom, and we were watching a show, and this girl on the show was like saying, she was like, "Oh, I'm on the spectrum," and Sanj was like, "Oh, she's gay."
Is that what she thought it meant? Are you sure you want to tell people that Sanj didn't understand that?
And I was like, we were in like 8th grade or something. And I was like, what? And she was like, she's gay. She's on spectrum. And I was like, no, she has autism, Sanj. And we had to literally explain that to her. It was a great day. I was like, wow.
I missed I missed 8th grade, Sanjana.
I know.
All right. Well, it has nothing to do with IQ, apparently. I just can't see pictures in my head. When you're speaking and you go on long, like, monologues, right? You're going to talk for a while to people. And it's a couple of minutes of talking. Do you pre-plan what you're going to say? Like, do you ever see people sit around real quietly and then all of a sudden they launch into something like they've been thinking about it?
I don't know. I guess it depends on the situation.
Because when I speak at length, like if I'm interviewing somebody on the podcast, they're saying something, I'm listening. And then when I start to respond, I really don't know what I'm going to say. And then I start going and I build on it. And sometimes I'll get to the end and think, I don't know if that made any sense. But the person I'm speaking to is like, that's so perfectly said. And I'm like, I don't even know what I just said.
That's how I feel when I write. Because when I write, I don't like stop. I just like put all my words down and then I realize that they make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're creative writers, not analytical writers.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't write technically for sure.
Yeah, I can't. And I have to do that soon. So I think my world may collapse.
I burn a ton of calories when I'm speaking in public. Like because I just did it this weekend and it eats up so much of my energy. But like, so
who told you that? The calorie burning elf? How do you know?
I know because I'm dizzy when it's over and I have to eat.
Well, or maybe you don't eat enough.
Oh, I ate before. No, I ate before.
What, did you have a chip and a little slice of butter?
No, I got up in the morning and I ate some fruit.
With some salt?
But are you listening to me? A banana. I had a little, like a scrambled egg.
Some fruit and a banana. It's almost like those are the same things.
I had a banana and I was going to say fruit. Then I remembered it was a banana. And then
all I've heard is that you've had fruit and a banana. What else?
Banana, eggs. I had a couple of grapes and a piece of bread. Yeah. And then I spoke. And then when I'm done, I'm drained.
Well, that's not that much food, Dad.
Don't think so?
No.
I mean, it's protein and sugar and like fruity sugar, all that stuff. There is a little adrenaline too. I think there's kind of like a letdown afterwards from adrenaline, which I do think happens. But
is that I think it's a come down, not a letdown. Come down might be when you're on drugs.
I think letdown's pretty reasonable to say there. All right, we have to get back to the internal monologue thing, but I was going to tell you that like I know what I'm going to say. Like I got on stage a couple of times this weekend. I just have to figure out how I'm going to start. And then I know once I start, I'll get through it. And that people will enjoy it when it's over. It won't be like people aren't going to be staring going, oh my God, like, come on, man, get it out.
I'm not really giving monologues, so I don't.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Because I wondered if your inner, like I wondered, is a voice talking to you while you're speaking? Like, do you hear the words before you say them? Because mine come out of nothingness. That's what I was getting at.
No, it's not like the words are said in my head and then I spew them out. Like, it's just like, if I'm talking, I'm just talking. But when I do speak, there is a voice in my head that's repeating the words. So the words are being repeated in my head by that voice while they're coming out of my mouth.
So you're saying that while I'm talking right now, it would almost be like an echo?
Kind of. There's like another voice on top of it. It's kind of like, you know, when you're editing something and you have like the sound from the video and then you put music on top of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Okay. When I finished my book, I called the editor or the publisher, excuse me, and I said, I need some extra time. And they said, why? And I said, I want to read the book out loud to myself to see what it'll sound like when other people hear it. Because if I sat and read it, it didn't have, like, I couldn't feel anything about it.
Sometimes when I was younger, if I had to read something, the voice in my head would like talk really loud when it was reading. So I was like, oh, I feel like I'm not like understanding. So I would read out loud because it kind of like took over the other voice. Like sometimes I have to do that. If I'm like, okay, whatever, like the voice in my head keeps repeating it, but I'm not understanding it, then I have to read it out loud so that there's only one like dominant voice talking.
I want to go over a couple things that I've learned here. People have different cognitive styles, this says, which refers to the preferred ways in which they think, learn, and process information. Some individuals are more verbal thinkers, meaning they naturally think in words or hear an inner dialogue, which is weird because I guess I don't think in words then. Others might be visual thinkers who are process information through images. I don't do it that way either. Or spatial.
Yeah, but I do both of those things.
Okay. Or there's abstract thinkers who think in concepts or feelings rather than words. I think that might be what I am.
Yeah, you're an abstract. I think that's what Liv is too.
Okay.
But I'm the first two.
Inner speech typically develops during childhood as children learn to use language to guide their actions and thoughts. For some, this inner dialogue becomes a dominant way of thinking, continuing into adulthood. However, not everyone develops this habit to the same degree, and some may rely more on nonverbal forms of thought. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Brain imaging studies have shown that different people use different parts of their brain when thinking. For those who experience inner speech, the brain's language-related areas tend to be more active. But in contrast, people who do not hear an inner voice may have less activation in these regions during thought and instead engage areas related to visual processing or other cognitive functions. So is that why I speak in like pictures?
Is it like the thalamus or something? I'm like learning about this stuff. Now, the thalamus might be like the senses or something like that.
Broca's area, B-R-O-C.
Oh, yeah, Broca's. Yeah, I'm learning about all that. But what's in Broca's?
Hold on, I'll find out in a second. I took that passage and I'm asking it if that could be the reason why you think and communicate more in imagery. Brain imaging studies who suggest that people who are more visual thinkers tend to activate differently different areas of the brain, such as those related to visual processing, like the occipital lobe, rather than the areas associated.
The occipital lobe is the lobe all the way in the back. It's for like vision.
If you find your thoughts are more image-based rather than word-based, it might mean that your brain naturally favors visual spatial processing.
If this lobe gets damaged, like that's when people go blind.
Oh, really?
Well, also, if someone
whacks you in the head,
puts a dagger in your eye, then that could do it too.
That could do it as well. This could be more inclined to think. This could make you more inclined to think in pictures, scenes, or visual metaphors. It could also influence how you express yourself, often using imagery to convey ideas or emotions. That is what I do. The way I say it out loud is I kind of speak in pictures. I tell stories through, I don't know. That's crazy. But you...
Oh, the thalamus is for sensory and motor information.
Okay. But the interesting thing is that you and I think we communicate similarly with other people.
Yeah.
But you're coming from one part of your brain, I'm coming from the other, and we're both doing the same thing when it comes out of our mouths.
I guess that makes sense, though, because I'm like more introverted than you are. So we kind of like think the same, but we don't completely act the same, like when we're in conversation. I guess that makes sense. You use the more like emotional part of your brain. I use the more like words.
Yeah. I do that constantly. I think it makes mom crazy sometimes.
Mom just uses like wherever the numbers are. I don't know.
Because I'm like, this is how it feels. How does it make you feel? She's like, I don't know. Like, okay.
Mom told me that she took a little quiz it's about like emotional intelligence at work or something that they had to take. And I was like, well, it was empathy last. And she was like, it was actually very high. So I think someone needs to look over her shoulder when she takes the next quiz.
She was lying in that quiz. Oh, it's funny. You said something I had a question about. When you say that I feel more introverted, like how do you feel like that impacts you in your daily life?
Okay, so when I get dressed and I go to class, I get in the elevator, I have my headphones on. I, like acknowledge people in the elevator. I don't try to make conversation with them. I go where I need to go. I sit down, I open my laptop, I do my work. When I go eat, I'll like watch a show or something, do all this stuff. If you were in that situation, when you entered the elevator with someone, you would make a conversation with them. When you sat down in class, you would probably turn to the people beside you, listen to what they're saying, and add to it. Like I'm not doing that. But I bet that if we're listening to the same conversation or in the same elevator, we're having the same types of thoughts, but that our actions are completely different.
Okay. So when you and I are in the elevator together, we're experiencing other people, you think that we are having the same exact reactions or close to the same reactions to what we're hearing, but you would never engage with them.
That's not true. Like I might, but I don't. Like I don't want to.
Not inclined to.
Yeah.
But then does that make you?
But if I told you like, Dad, you cannot engage with anyone today, you'd probably like start like going insane.
I don't know. Some days I don't talk to anybody.
Well, I know, but if you're in a situation where like you want to talk to people and I told you like you can't do it.
Oh. Then I'm like an excited kid who you're telling not to run away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could happen. I hear you. I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I know you do.
When you have one of those thoughts and you don't release it or share it with somebody, doesn't it feel wasted to some degree?
No. I realized that, like, you know, ambiverts or whatever. It's
No,
like
what
in
is
the
that?
middle of, it's like someone who's both introverted and extroverted.
Okay.
I think that's what I am because, like, after a long day, like, I want to come home and I want to sit here and do my work and be by myself. And then I can, like, gain my energy, sleep, watch television, whatever. But I do enjoy going out and doing stuff with my friends. But, like, if my friends want to go to the club, I don't know, something like that, I need to know that that's happening a couple days prior. I don't want to know that night that we're all going to go do something.
Why? What happens?
I need to know what's happening and build the energy to, like, I need to know throughout the whole day that later tonight I have something I'm going to do that's going to involve other people.
Okay.
Because then I have enough energy to do it and enjoy it. But if you throw it at me after I've already done something and I wasn't expecting it, it's not enjoyable. But there are other things I like to do. Like if my friends call me randomly and like want to go on a drive or go do something, I can do that. But I think it's because I'm so close to them. So it's like,
Mm-hmm. You know how mom can be a one event, one day person?
yeah.
Like we went to the movies. Now today is over. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel that way about stuff?
About certain things, but not about that.
Okay.
But I am the type of person to be like, okay, like if I have something big to do at like 5 p.m. and I woke up at like 9, I'd be like, oh, I can't do anything today. Like I have something at 5 p.m.
I like to get up and like keep moving once I'm awake, which I think is to my detriment sometimes because then I don't like relax. You know what I mean? Like really, how many times in your life have you seen me take an entire day and sit on a sofa?
Like 3 times.
Yeah, that doesn't like I don't do
Even
that.
when you're sick, you like try to get up and we're like, stay in here. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it feels like there's so much to do. Or actually, I take that back. It doesn't feel like there's so much to do. Like I feel compelled to do things. There's so many things I'd like to do. Like I enjoy like being active. Like when people say like, when are you going to stop making the podcast? I'm like, that sounds ridiculous. Like then what would I do?
But I find it crazy that you say that because when you only really like to do the things that you enjoy though. Like you don't like to do like different random things. Cause like if me and mom were like, oh, we want to go here and do this, you'd be like, oh yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Like,
have you considered that maybe some of the things you want to do are just things that don't interest me?
yeah, but what I'm saying is that like there are things that my friends want to do that don't interest me, but because they want to do them, I'll get up and I'll be like, okay, I guess I'll try something new.
You don't think I go and do things with mom that I don't want to do?
No, I'm sure you do, but
Yeah.
You're not like you
I'll
don't
say something.
express, you're not positive about it.
Positive?
Yeah.
Look who's talking.
I never said I was a positive person, but I try new things and I don't complain.
You think I just love you like to complain.
No, you like to complain.
You don't think you enjoy complaining?
No,
Oh, well, there's a blind spot for you.
I don't enjoy drama. I don't enjoy complaining. I don't enjoy more words than are necessary.
What about when you have like lived through a thing and you'll come to us and be like, let me break down for you what's happening. And then you talk passionately for many minutes or hours about what has happened and explain everything that went wrong and everybody that did everything wrong. And
I'm not complaining. I just like to break things down and see why things happened. Like I'm interested in why people would do certain things.
okay, well then I'm not complaining either.
Oh, no, you just admitted you were, and you completely are.
Oh, I think my definition, I just realized my definition of complaining.
If someone does something stupid, I don't come home and just complain about them. I come home and I question it. I'm like, why would they do that?
I feel like that's what I'm doing too. But I also recognize
not at all what you're doing.
I also recognize that it is complaining. But maybe I'm ambiverted when it comes to complaining.
That makes no sense. That sentence makes no sense. I think the editor should just take that out because you look stupid.
I was trying to say that, like, you apparently can be ambiverts, enjoy socializing, connecting with people, but don't feel the need to be around others all the time. They're equally comfortable spending time alone and may switch between these modes based on their mood, energy levels, or situation. I don't know that needs a name. Doesn't that just sound like reasonably
That's
normal?
So me. No, because you're not like that. You're extroverted.
Not all the time.
Most of the time you're extroverted. I'm ambiverted like all the time. And like mom is introverted.
Mm-hmm. That's true. What do you think Cole is?
A robot. I don't really know.
He's introverted, right?
Cole's introverted, but he like wishes that he could be like extroverted.
Because once he's around people he feels comfortable with, he is very open.
But he's still introverted in that setting.
He's still quieter, right? All right. So what did we figure out about this mind's eye thing and people that can't see pictures? Do you think, like, so if I'm in like a small percentage of people, like, so most people listening are like, dude, I close my eyes, I think apple, there's an apple there. That's 96% of people.
Why? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. Like, seems weird. Did mom say she could see the apple?
I think we start talking and mom just doesn't respond. I don't know.
Interesting.
What about like, this kind of goes into like personality types. Like, do you know what your personality type is? Have you taken the Myers-Briggs test?
The Myers-Briggs test? No.
Yeah. You should take it and we should talk about that next time because I know my personality type.
Okay.
I took it when I was like 12 and then I took it again like at like 18 and my personality type changed completely.
Okay. So you could be...
There's a lot of them.
Extroversion versus introversion, sensing versus intuition, thinking versus feeling.
And then judging versus
perceiving.
Yeah.
There are 16 personality types. 16?
Yep.
Well, hold on. I'm looking at the list.
They're really interesting, too. Oh, can you guess what I was when I was younger and what I am now?
All right, hold on. There's inspector, protector, counselor, architect, virtuoso, adventurer, mediator, thinker, entrepreneur, entertainer, campaigner, debater, executive, counsel, protagonist, and the commander. I'm a lot of these things. You can only be one?
Ugh, where's the egotistical asshole at?
I was going to say, actually, it's so funny you said that. Because I was going to say, it says there's 16 personality types here, but I don't see asshole anywhere on this list.
Yeah.
It's funny. See, we were both...
You're like, I'm the king, the queen.
No, I don't think that at all. Like, but I mean, I could see fitting into a couple of these things.
Wait, let me look at them real quick. Can you guess what mine is?
Is now or was when you were younger?
Either or.
All right, I'll entertain this. The inspector is a practical, responsible, detail-oriented, and organized. This feels like, you know, when people, and for everybody listening who believes in this, I'm sorry already, but you know when people tell you about their like birth sign, their like, what is that? Their zodiac signs. And then you read, you know.
I think you would be an EFSJ, extroverted, feeling, sensing, judging.
Wait, you can make your own up? Oh, that makes me
the mix of the four.
So
God,
that makes me the
following?
I'm looking now. That makes me the counsel, warm, caring, social, and detail oriented.
Oh, you're not detail oriented.
Yeah, that's why this feels.
But basically, you just have to put the two against each other. So, are you extroverted or introverted? So, I would say extroverted because it says could be described as talkative and outgoing, likes to be in a fast-paced environment, tends to work out ideas with others, thinks out loud, enjoys being the center of attention. Okay, obviously. And then thinking or feeling, I would say feeling for you. Base your decisions on personal values and how your actions affect others. Value harmony, forgiveness, like to please others and point out the best in people. Could be described as warm and empathetic. I think that's more you because thinking says level-headed. Sensing and intuition. I said sensing. Focus on the reality of how things are. Pay attention to concrete facts and details. Wait. Intuition. Imagine the possibility. Okay, wait. I'm changing my answer to EFNJ.
EFNJ. The protagonist, charismatic, empathetic, inspiring, and leadership oriented.
That makes more sense to me.
Okay.
I think if you take the quiz and you get that, then I can graduate from this school already.
They should just let you out. I don't really need to go to this whole psychology degree. I think I got it figured out. My dad's an ENFJ.
I don't actually think that you would guess what I got and what I have now.
All right, so hold on. So inspector is practical, responsible, detail-oriented.
Where do you see inspector? You mean
ISTJ.
introvert?
Do you want me to send you the list that I'm looking at?
Oh, no. I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Okay. And then the protector, caring, loyal, meticulous, dependable. Okay, so that's not you. Practical, responsible, detail-oriented. I don't think that's you. Insightful, creative, compassionate, idealistic. I don't think you're idealistic. Strategic, independent, analytical, and driven. That could be you.
Which one's that?
INTJ, the architect. The virtuoso, action-oriented, adaptable, observant, and practical. That's not you. The adventurer, gentle, artistic. I don't think you're gentle. You're not super spontaneous or flexible. The mediator, empathetic. I'll skip you there. The thinker, intellectual, curious, logical, and independent. No, maybe. Energetic, perceptive, risk-taking, and no. Sociable, playful, adaptable, and practical. Social, no. Enthusiastic, creative, open-minded, and inspirational. Innovative, clever, argumentative, and quick-witted. Innovative, clever, the debater. Organized, efficient, outgoing, no. Warm, caring, social, no. Charismatic, empathetic. You could be the debater. You could be... I give you the commander, but I don't think you're actually as confident as you appear. So no.
Okay. I've taken this quiz like when I was 18, and then I took it again this year.
Charismatic, empathetic, inspiring, and leadership oriented. That could be you.
Which one's that?
Protagonist, the one you gave me. But I don't know if empathetic fits you completely. All right, so I've got debater. I've got counselor. Those are my two that I have for you.
Wait, which one's counselor? What are the letters?
INFJ.
Okay, that's what I got when I was younger.
Okay.
Was the counselor, which is wait, I'll read about it a little bit.
But can I tell you something crazy? Like
what?
The way you figured this out is you looked at the IN, the F, and the J and all that stuff. Like, I don't know what any of that means because I scrolled past where it lists it.
Yeah, so you're not detail oriented.
I just read them. I wish I would have said that out loud. I just read the words.
Yeah, you did what you wanted to do. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so INFJ is what I got when I was younger, like in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I took it again in high school, and now I got ENTJ, which is the commander, which you said I don't think you're as
I don't think you're as confident as you portray. You're confident. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I think that sometimes you are like, I'm confident in this, and I'm not going to think too much about it because I hope I'm right, but I'm not sure, and I don't want to start doubting myself. But that might just be your age.
But I got ENTJ-A, so sometimes they add something at the end if you match it. So it says I'm 54% extroverted, 76% intuitive, 61% thinking, 61% judging, and 56% assertive.
By the way, here's the other problem, may I say? That every time I take one of these quizzes, you and what's her name look over my shoulder and tell me that I'm lying about myself when I'm.
We don't look Well, sometimes you're just like putting things down that like just aren't sure.
It's how I see myself.
Like you'd be like, you have blonde hair, and you'd be like, yes, I do.
No, that's ridiculous. Also, there's criticisms of this MBTI. It's popular, but it's also faced criticism, particularly from psychologists and researchers. Common criticisms include that it lacks scientific validity, that it's got a binary nature, places people into one of two categories for each dimension, which may oversimplify the complexities of personality.
Yeah, Dad, I didn't say, it was going to solve world peace. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
But here are the people that I'm most like, the famous people.
Mm-hmm.
Ready? Steve Jobs.
Okay. I don't think his children liked him a lot, but go ahead.
Gordon Ramsay.
That crazy man who yells at people on the television?
Yes.
Okay.
Margaret Thatcher. Franklin D. Roosevelt. Jim Carrey. Whoopi Goldberg. Harrison Ford. Malcolm X. Dr. Strange. Tony Soprano.
Wait, did these people take... Tony Soprano is not a real person. So they...
I'm not done. David Palmer from 24. Malcolm Merlin from The Arrow. Mary Talbot from Downton Abbey. Francis J. Underwood, House of Cards. Jacqueline A. Sharp, House of Cards. River Tam, Firefly. Milady De Winter, The Three Musketeers. Miranda Priestley, The Devil Wears Prada. And Raymond Reddington, The Blacklist.
Okay. Wait, no, where did you get that? That's that web. You've showed me this before, that website, haven't you?
Yeah, like I like have an account and I can read it out.
I have an account. Don't tell people that. Why didn't you just hold up your phone and say, I'm a douchebag? I have an account.
It tells you like career paths that are good for your personality. Oh, look, I'm a born leader. Look at that. Here are my weaknesses. I'm emotionally unaware. I'm impatient. A perfectionist. That's true. And domineering. What does that mean?
Overbearing.
Strong personality may imitate colleagues. I've been told that before.
You imitate your colleagues? What does that mean?
I mean, like people around, like you're just intimidating.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I misheard you. You intimidate people around you.
Yeah.
That does happen.
It says my strengths are born leader, strategic mastermind, efficiency expert, and ambitious.
Mm-hmm. I have a list of famous people that may be associated with my ENFJ personality, which I'm accepting from you that I am.
Okay.
Obama, Oprah, Maya Angelou. I feel weird saying this. Martin Luther King Jr.
I when I said Malcolm X, I was like, can I say that?
Jennifer Lawrence. This one I feel very strange saying. Nelson Mandela. Mikhail Gorbachev. Ben Affleck. Like the drunk part of him or the what? All right. Emma Stone. Jennifer Garner.
Emma Stone.
Yeah.
Emma Stone and Jennifer Lawrence and Obama. You win.
Oh, those are your big... You love those people.
Oh, I just threw Obama in there, but yeah.
And John Cusack for some reason.
See, like they're all like pretty strong people, independent people. People like them, but they have like a silly side to them.
Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, known for her insightful writing, motivational speaking, and fostering of personal growth.
Yeah, look at this. I'm a genius.
It is kind of what I do for a living. Sort of. How about that?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Jennifer Garner's kind? How do we know she's kind?
She seems kind.
I mean, from what I do that from like the Capital One commercial. That's how I know. Where she's hawking that credit card.
She still talks to Ben Affleck after all he did. So.
How do you know what he did?
Well,
maybe.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Today we watched a video in Psych, and it was like, I forgot what we were talking about, but it's like this guy who like misspoke or whatever. Oh, we were talking about that. What is his name? What is that psychologist? Oh, Freud. Yeah, him.
This conversation is a fraud. You're thinking of Sigmund Freud. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, him. And we're talking about his theory that like basically no one ever makes a mistake. Like everything that people do is on purpose. So like he would believe that like if you got in a car accident that like your subconscious wanted you to get into that car accident,
mm-hmm.
which is like a crazy thing, whatever. But our teacher showed us a video and she was like, okay, here's an example. Like Freud would say that this man did this on purpose. And it's from like years ago when like Jenny on the Block, like that, her album or whatever, like that thing came out. He's like something about like, oh, well, like something about a curb job, but now she's going to be giving blow jobs. And he goes, that's not what I meant to say. That's not what I, and he's like on air and he's like, I'm sorry. I won't make that mistake again or whatever. And we're all like cracking up in class. But like basically what Freud would say is that like that man meant to say that on purpose, which is like crazy.
It's what he thought, and it came out even though he didn't want it to.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I guess isn't insane, but it's like, so like if I lost my key, like basically like he would say like, oh, if I lost my keys and I can't go to class without my ID or something like that, that was like my subconscious because I didn't actually want to go to class.
Well, that's happened to you a number of times. Do you think that's true?
No, I just think I lost my ID.
So you think Sigmund Freud was a fraud?
Yeah.
Oh, oh, bold stance. We don't believe.
Well, I think
in Freudian thinking.
Some of what he says is true, but like not everything you do is on purpose. I don't think that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If I'm looking at my phone and I trip over something on the ground and fall on my fucking face, like, did I do that on purpose? No. But he believes that subconsciously.
Are you sure it's not possible that maybe he was... Hold on.
Oh, also, he was a big drinker, I heard, so.
So there's the unconscious. All right. Do you want to put Freudian thinking on our list of things we don't understand?
Nah, because I'm going to have to learn about it. So it's like, I will understand it soon.
Maybe oh yeah, that's true. I'm going to write it here because maybe you'll have something to say about it. But I'll put a question mark.
Do my eyes look really tired?
A little bit. Why?
I'm just looking and I
You feel like you look tired?
I kind of look like I have an allergic reaction.
All right. Well, we're going to go now, but I'm looking forward very much to talking about why Bridget Mendler has so much folklore around her, where fat goes when you lose weight, and is Taylor Swift evil? Think she is?
Did you see that video of her dancing with Travis Kelce? And everyone's like, oh my God. It's like, oh my God, everyone dances. What are we talking about?
I haven't seen that. I did see a picture of him dressed to watch tennis, and I thought maybe she's screwing with him and making him wear that. But
or like right after she endorsed Kamala Harris and he comes out, he's like, I support all that Taylor does. And I'm like, damn, man, you could just say like, yeah, I also support Kamala Harris.
I think that's what he meant.
But he supports Taylor.
Oh. Well, we all...
Soon enough, Taylor's going to be the president.
God, that would be horrifying, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine Taylor Swift versus Donald Trump?
What's her most favorite song?
From her? Me?
Yeah, what do you think her most favorite song is, or a famous song is?
Oh, Shake It Off? I don't know.
Shake It Off versus the guy from The Apprentice. Who would win? Interesting.
I don't know who would win that.
Interesting.
I'm not sure. I thought you were asking me my favorite song, and I was like...
What's your favorite Taylor Swift? Do you have a favorite Taylor Swift song?
Yeah, I think it might be Invisible String.
Okay.
Or I like Mirror Ball. Mm-hmm. Or, you know, all those Taylor Swift songs. Dorothea, I like that one.
Is I Stay Out Too Late, that's the Shake It Off one, right?
I Stay Out Too Late? I think so.
That's all I know. There's nothing...
Do you know the part where she says, shake it off?
That's what people say. I don't know the whole thing. I don't like Taylor Swift.
You have the worst voice in the world.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't... For a person with a pleasant speaking voice, I cannot sing at all.
Who told you it was pleasant?
A lot of people.
Oh, all right. I don't have a good speaking voice.
Oh, I disagree. You just think your voice is deep and you think that's not good, right?
Yeah, I have a deep voice and I mumble.
You mumble? You do. I
do mumble.
Bit. Mom talks under her breath a lot too, but I think that's different.
I think Mom's just having a stroke half of the time she's talking. Sometimes she talks on the phone with me and I go, I don't know what you just said.
You know, she'll listen to this, right?
Yeah, I know. And I tell her that.
Okay. All right. Well, I think
I'll call her right now and tell her that.
She's starting to do that thing that people do when they get, like, I'm not saying she's old, but when people get older, they seem to do that thing where they start their sentence in their head.
Like, yeah.
And then, start it out loud about 4 words later.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been happening a little bit. Anyway, Kelly, if you're listening, we love you, but you've been starting your sentences on like word 5. I wonder why people
ice
do
maker?
that.
Mom, can I have an ice maker, please? Thank you.
Didn't we already say yes to that?
Yeah, but I don't see it anywhere.
Oh, you thought it was just going to show up?
I thought it was going to appear out of thin air.
I thought...
I actually cannot believe it's only Tuesday. Let me say that right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm going to put this on my list.
What?
Why do people start speaking 5 words into their sentence? See if we can figure that out. I think that's a really good one, honestly, because I don't want to say that my mom used to do that because I think mom will get upset if I say that. But I've realized my mom used to do that sometimes. And I was like, what are you talking about? Then they say it again. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't say most of that out loud. You know what else I find really fascinating?
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Oh, God, this is hard.
You had your eyes closed. What were you visualizing?
There's so many. I was thinking about jelly, actually, like peanut butter and jelly. But I was thinking about like how they make jelly, like grape jelly, blueberry jelly, strawberry jelly.
You thought that's what I was wondering about?
Today in class, she showed us a picture of a white elephant, and she said, "Don't think of a white elephant." And the first thing I thought of was jelly beans. I've been thinking about jelly a lot today.
Did you say jelly the beans?
No, just jelly beans.
You said jelly the beans.
No, I said jelly beans.
Everyone rewind and listen. She said jelly the beans.
No, I didn't. I said jelly beans.
Okay, we'll find out. What I was going to say, and then I'll let you go, is I think it's interesting when 2 people in a room together and one person thinks they said something and they didn't and then swears they did. I find that fascinating.
Or when someone swears they didn't say something and they did say it.
Yeah. I also think it's interesting when you hear something earlier in the day and then you talk about it as if it was a new thought that you had.
You kind of look like you're like 45 years old and in a band. Like, I feel like you're supposed to have like eyeliner on right now.
I don't know what you mean by that. So let's just go. All right. Thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Bye. A huge thank you to one of today's sponsors, Gvoke Glucagon. Find out more about Gvoke HypoPen at gvokeglucagon.com/juicebox. You spell that GVOKEGLUCAGON.com/juicebox. If you'd like to wear the same insulin pump that Arden does, all you have to do is go to omnipod.com/juicebox. That's it. Head over now and get started today, and you'll be wearing the same tubeless insulin pump that Arden has been wearing since she was 4 years old. A huge thank you to one of today's sponsors, AG1. Drink AG1.com/juicebox. You can start your day the same way I do, with a delicious drink of AG1. If you have type 2 or pre-diabetes, the Type 2 Diabetes Pro Tip series from the Juicebox Podcast is exactly what you're looking for. Do you have a friend or a family member who is struggling to understand their type 2 and how to manage it? This series is for them. 7 episodes to get you on track and up to speed. Episode 860, Series Intro. 864, Guilt and Shame. Episode 869, Medical Team. 874, Fueling Plan. Episode 880, Diabetes Technology. Episode 885, GLP-1s, metformin, and insulin. And in episode 889, we talk about movement. This episode is with me and Jenny Smith. Of course, you know Jenny is a certified diabetes care and education specialist. She's a registered and licensed dietitian, and Jenny has had type 1 diabetes for over 30 years. Too many people don't understand their type 2 diabetes, and this series aims to fix that. Share it with a friend or get started today. I can't thank you enough for listening. Please make sure you're subscribed or following in your audio app. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Juicebox Podcast. The episode you just heard was professionally edited by Wrong Way Recording. WrongWayRecording.com.